Hey Nazym, really great to see another batch of work from you. It's really encouraging and it shows you're definitely dedicated to improving your writing. I've had a read through already. It's looking really good, so fantastic work. Let's look at the question that you had. So you had to write a letter to your company about car parking space, and it was explaining the problem that there is no parking space available, suggesting a solution for this problem, and explaining how this will help the company. Okay, so, dear Mr. Lewis, brilliant start, well done. I'm writing to you regarding the problem with parking space in our office. Okay, good. I would say here, for the preposition in, because in our office would be inside the office, I would say problem with parking space for our office. Okay, for our office. Okay, so on November 5th and 7th, I came late to work. As I've previously explained, this was due to no parking space availability in our office. So, at our office here. As a result, I had to spend, with a D, some of my working time searching for parking spots available in nearby streets. I would say in nearby streets. So Nearby, nearby streets. Okay, good. For this part, I think we can make this slightly more concise by saying this was due to the lack of parking spaces for our office. Okay. Since I have been reprimanded twice for coming to work late, good, well done, I am suggesting the company either, so here, company would have a lowercase c, so I'm suggesting the company either speak to our lesser of the office space. I'm not sure what you mean here by lesser. So do you mean speak to the other companies using the office, perhaps? Or speak to the building manager, for example. So I'm not sure what you mean there, so make that one a little bit clearer. Or to arrange parking, so not the parking, on Fraser Street, which is just a corner away from our workplace. Good, well done. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, since not only do I come late to work, okay, so because we've got since here for this paragraph, and then since here, this is a perfect opportunity to vary the starts of your paragraph. You could say, as it is not only me who comes to work late, but also around 55% of our staff, I'm kindly asking you to consider the possible solution to tackle parking place deficiency. Okay. So I'm kindly asking you to consider the solutions above, so these ones up here, to tackle the lack of parking spaces. Okay, the company, so again, lowercase c there, cannot afford to pay for the time its employees are spending to find a space to park their vehicles. Good. On the contrary, though, if the company, lowercase c, rents space for employees to leave their vehicles, it will boost their loyalty to the company. So I take out only here. It will boost their loyalty to the company, lowercase c. Although renting the space is costly, good, in the long run it will bring benefits for both our company, lowercase c, and its employees. Good, well done. A nice example of the first conditional down there. Brilliant. Okay. I look forward to hearing, so Hearing, hearing from you soon. Yours sincerely, Nazym. Well done. Yeah, good. A really great piece of writing there. The structure is brilliant, so no problems there whatsoever. There's just a couple of places where we would change the word order, and that's not because it doesn't make any sense at all. It's just because a different word order would be more natural. But a couple of things that we've mentioned are, so the starts of the paragraphs, make sure you're not using the same thing twice, just so you can take that opportunity to vary your language a bit. Also, company with a lowercase c. Okay, so that's one that's been consistent throughout, so use that one with a lowercase c. But yes, well done. This phrase at the bottom, so I look forward to hearing from you soon. That's an important one to get right, because it's one that you will probably use in a lot of different emails and letters and things, so a good one to remember that when we use to look forward to, we have a verb with ing after. So I look forward to going, I look forward to having, etc. I look forward to getting, I look forward to hearing from you soon. Okay, but yeah, well done. Fantastic piece of work there. So next you had this larger question, so about people arguing against using animals and humans for clinical testing, while others think it is necessary. Which are you in favour of? And of course to provide specific examples and reasons to support your opinion. Okay, so experts throughout the world are at odds where the clinical stage of drug testing need to be performed at animals and humans. Some of them believe that drugs should not be tested at living beings, while others believe it is necessary evil. I am a strong advocate of drugs to go through testing by using living creatures. This essay will support my opinion by proving points and stating arguments from the World Health Organization. Okay, so a couple of things that we need to change in here. Experts throughout the world are at odds as to whether, okay, so are at odds as to whether clinical stages, with an S, of drug testing need to be performed on animals and humans. So on here, instead of at, on animals and humans. So I would take out of them and just say some believe that drugs should not be tested on living beings, while others believe it is a necessary evil. I am a strong advocate for drugs going through testing using living creatures. This essay will support my opinion by proving points and stating arguments from the World Health Organization. Okay, so it's largely prepositions in that first paragraph. So, so we need as to after odds, and then testing on animals and humans. Okay. On the other hand, there are people who claim that clinical research of the drug outcome performed by using mammals is against humanity. Okay. So there are people who claim that clinical research of the drug. Okay, I would take out this part because it makes our sentence a little bit confusing. So that clinical research performed by using mammals is against humanity. Okay, they feel that using people and animals is highly unethical, especially taking into account that nobody at the critical stage of drug testing is aware of the side effects of the drugs. Okay, good. I would change this bit slightly and say they feel that using people and animals is highly unethical, particularly when taking into account that nobody at the clinical stage of drug testing is aware of the side effects of the drugs. Okay. Furthermore, living creatures may die as a result of drugs testing instead of drug taking. So we're being specific that this is not about taking drugs in general, but taking them in clinical trials. For instance, research published by the WHO, World Health Organization, in 2017 indicates that 55% of animals and 23% of people suffer from side effects incurred as a result of drug intake. Okay, so take out the comma here. Therefore, clinical testing of drugs using mammals has its negative effects. Okay, good work. Now, what is coming to mind here is just this sentence in your introduction, purely because you've said that this essay will support my opinion by proving points and stating arguments, and that your opinion is that you're a strong advocate of drugs being tested on living creatures. So what I would say, instead of it supporting your opinion, I would say this essay will look at both sides of the argument, using proving points and stating arguments from the World Health Organization, purely because that first paragraph doesn't support your opinion. Okay, so saying that you're going to outline both sides would mean that your introduction is consistent with your following paragraph. Okay, all right, good. So a good form that you've used there in this paragraph, so outlining the issue, giving a good piece of evidence there, rounding off your paragraph. Really well done. So next one, on the other hand, there are people who think that clinical research, so here, instead of research is research, because research is an uncountable noun. So clinical research that involves, with an S, testing components of the drug on animals or on living creatures is needed. Even though, so no comma here, even though some creatures and human beings end up suffering from negative effects of the drug, tests save considerably more lives and health compared with cases if no clinical tests have been performed. Okay, well done. So I would shorten this part slightly, because this is what we've mentioned in the paragraph above, so it's not that we need to cover it all again in this case. So even though there is suffering caused by side effects when testing, okay, tests save considerably more lives and health compared with cases if no clinical tests have been performed. For example, a paper published by the World Health Organization in 2018 indicates that skipping clinical tests, okay, so skipping clinical tests, I would take out this bit. So skipping clinical tests leads to a 75% increase of side effects in patients who purchase the drug while not being aware of its negative effects. Hence, commercial sales of medicines that have not gone through clinical research have tremendous, I would take out the ly and use it as an adjective instead of an adverb, have tremendous negative impacts. Okay, tremendous, negative impacts. Okay, well done. So, yeah, 2 paragraphs with great structures there, and you've contrasted them really well. Okay, which is good to see. Good, you've taken on board as well that using a rounding off sentence at the end of your paragraphs, which makes it very clear that you're linking all of this back to your question, which is good. To conclude, I would say that research that involves, with an S, drug testing on living beings or animals is necessary. Medicine should not be allowed to enter the market, instead of enter sales, enter the market without thorough research, again, uncountable nouns, so research and tests, having been properly performed. Okay, having been properly performed. As big pharma tends to produce more medicines, so as companies tend to produce more medicines, the importance of drug testing will only increase in the years to come. Okay, well done. So a well thought out piece of writing there with some nice examples from the World Health Organization and two instances here. Just as we've done in our corrections, be careful of some of your wording, because sometimes you use more words than you need to. So for example, when we talked about this one, if we've already spoken about it, for example the side effects in this paragraph, we don't need to repeat it in its full description. Okay, so we could just refer to side effects instead of suffering from negative effects of the drug. Okay. But yes, a very good piece of writing. In fact, both pieces were very good. So very well done. Great work.